This episode of Wookiees on X-Wing is brought to you in part by MetaGameZ, Atlantic Canada's newest gaming and tournament center. Check it out at MetaGameZ.com. That's MetaGameZ with a Z.com. Long live MetaGameZ!
Welcome back to Wookiees on X-Wing. My name is Matt.
I'm John.
And today we've got our first game of the Fredericton Store Championships held here at Meta's downtown.
Run by yours truly.
I had to work, unfortunately. Curses be, but, you know, gotta keep a roof over my head.
Well, today we got a Scum on Scum action, so get out your dish soap, because this will be a brutal game. You want to tell us what the Chris Allen is flying?
Well, Chris, he's definitely a man after my own heart here. He's got two IGs, you know, the dirty 88s. Plays them a little differently than you would have seen me, but not by a lot. So he's got IG-88B and D. Both have the Crackshot EPT, and then Autothrusters, Fie Control System, Heavy Laser Cannon, and then Glitterstims for their illicit upgrade. So he is right on 100 points.
Very nice. And Mike, he is flying something a little different. He's flying Moralo Eval, which is a YV-666 pilot.
It's that big bruiser down in the corner.
He is glorious. So his ability is you can use the secondary cannon system against any ship in your auxiliary firing arc as well as your primary firing arc. So he's making use of that full 120-degree arc.
With full 180, it's nasty.
I can't do math, apparently. So he's flying Bossk as a crewman, gunner, and a tactician, and a Mangler Cannon for his cannon slot.
It's a little crowded in that ship.
Yeah, everybody board the party bus. And then on top of that, he's also flying an IG-88B that has Push the Limit, thrusters, Autothrusters, fire control systems, heavy laser cannon, and Glitterstim. So very similar IG-88, with the exception being Push the Limit instead of Crackshot. I like it. A lot of action economy. Doesn't have the synergy because there's no second IG-88, but he does.
IG-88B is great on his own.
Absolutely. If you're going to take one Aggressor, B is probably your man. He's the one that shows up in the movies. You know, he's the one that's going to show up on the table. And on top of that, you know, if you don't have Bossk flying the 666, you at least have him somewhere in the list, and that's what Mike has done.
Well, that Bossk crewman is nasty.
Yeah, he really is.
So when you if you miss, you know, when you perform primary attack, if you miss,
well, not just a primary attack,
or primary attack, isn't it?
Yeah, just any kind of attack.
Yeah, if you're not stressed, you must receive a stress. And then you get a focus token, and you acquire a target lock on the defender.
And that's very interesting because he has the gunner on there as well as the 180-degree arc. So he can take a shot. Oh, I don't hit with that shot? All right, I'll stress myself out. I'll get a target lock. I'll get a focus. And then I fire again.
And then I'll shoot you again.
And then if I miss, I can still do it again. I don't get an additional stress. So you get some mileage out of Bossk there.
Yeah, it's he's only 2 points, so he's a pretty good crewman. And then Tactician on there for just handing out stress everywhere. That's a nasty ship.
So let's get back to the game. So it looks like they've just put all of the obstacles almost like lanes here. So we have a really easy middle ground.
It's very very Wild West, you know.
Yeah.
Shoot out in the town
square.
The town square.
Yeah, just roaming around. And those IG-88s, that the two of them, they're just coming in almost like a pincer formation. They have a lot of flexibility with what they're going to do because they have IG-88D in there, so they can do those hard signature loops. They can bounce around. And it just looks like the YV-666 is taking his sweet time.
Yeah, well, he's, you know, that's what he does. He is kind of a bus.
Yeah.
But
he's going to want to surf around the edges, circle strafe, try to keep them in the arc and blast away.
Yeah, he wants to get in range 2. That is Moralo's ideal band. This is interesting, you know, just the aggressors taking paw shots at each other. They're both rolling 4 dice versus 3, and both proccing Autothrusters. At least with 2 of them that are dueling. Likely both of the aggressors, or all 3 of the aggressors, are going to get the Autothrusters on each other.
Yeah.
So it is going to come down to Who rolls better there?
Well, the heavy laser cannon is nice for negating that range 3, defensive bonus, but doesn't negate auto thrusters. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's very it's it's a large ship list, but it's still a very defensive.
Oh yeah,
defensive list.
Yeah, the aggressor plays very similarly to what you'd expect from like a TIE fighter, or that kind of style of fighter. The only downside is that they're on a large base, so they are a bit, unwieldy.
They can be a bit unwieldy.
But with the dials that they have, and I mean we've talked about this in other IG videos. I've written about it. That dial is so sexy.
It's great.
And then on top of which you got the YV-666, who just completely flies like a bus. It's just.
Well, and there we had the IG-88B's pilot ability. There was all blanks rolled, so you missed.
Yeah.
Instantly gunner that heavy laser cannon.
Now with the fire control system trigger.
Yeah.
And nothing but blanks, but luckily with the fire control system, he has a target lock, which he can now spend to re-roll his dice.
Yep. And it's a separate attack, so you're not re-rolling re-rolls or anything like that. That's just a phenomenal amount of damage going out here. Or at least a phenomenal amount of shots. I don't actually think there's a whole lot of damage that turn.
Yeah.
I mean, I see Mike's IG has lost a couple shields.
Yeah, out of that exchange, I don't think
He's lost two or three.
Yeah.
Maybe 2.
I don't think Mike's came out favorably in that exchange there. Also, Bossk is really out of the way. He's sort of off to the side. And he really wants to, while he's not being fired at and he doesn't have the pressure on him, he really wants to take advantage of those turns.
Yeah. Yeah, Moralo's he's in a nice position, or he's going to be in a nice position this turn.
Yeah.
Because, those IGs, they will do a lot of damage to Moralo, but they don't really want to be going heads up against him.
Yeah. So it looks like Mike's putting himself in a bit of a bind here with flying towards the asteroid. But he has some bank maneuvers and some hard turns if he has to.
He should be able to clear that without clipping it.
Yeah, in future turns, if he so chooses.
Yeah.
I mean, he might just be stressed next turn and not care.
Yeah, exactly.
When you have Bossk, you don't really care that much.
No. This is going to be a cluster. I'm intrigued to see where everyone goes. Ooh, that's going to be close.
Oh, absolutely.
No, that is negative. So, Mike, having the advantage of initiative, is now forcing Chris to bump into Mike's IG.
Yeah.
So that stopped one of them dead, and is extraordinarily likely to stop the other one in his tracks as well.
Ooh.
Oh.
That is interesting.
No, that he would have the edge of him, so.
No, but luckily he's bumping into himself, and so he can still get shots on the enemy aggressor.
Yeah, and he has the fire control from last turn, which is nice. So he's got the target lock if he needs it. He can't focus this turn.
Yeah.
Though this may be actually, I would say this is likely a turn where that IG is going to blow his Glitterstims.
It would be smart if he does.
This is a Glitterstim turn. May
look
have forgotten it though.
Yeah, that's the one thing that a lot of people have with these, one use, 1 point or 2 point consumables is, I need to pop them right here, right now. Oops.
And that was 3 damage onto that aggressor, so that hurt. And Glitterstims wouldn't have helped him defensively there, but with range 1 and a target lock,
yeah,
I would have done it this turn, but that's okay.
Looks like he's splitting some of his fire here.
So this is Moralo going in. That's a couple potentials. Oh, there we go. That's 2 getting through. And that is shields down for one of Chris's IGs. That is B. That is shields down for B.
Yeah.
And 1 remaining on D. And that should be B stressed now from the Tactician.
Again, I don't think he remembered to trigger it. Or call it, anyway.
Well, we got shots back, so here's the heavy laser cannon going out into Moralo. This is really not what he wants to see. Oh no, my apologies. This is their aggressors are dueling. Or he's rolling.
Looks like he's a little confused on to who's
Who's firing
at
who. Okay, yes. So we were right. It is the heavy laser into Moralo. And that's going to be the initial points of damage on Moralo. He only takes 2, though, so that's not too bad.
Yeah, with the 1 defense dice, you could have come out a lot worse.
Yeah, definitely. But 2 to 3 damage should be expected from a salvo like that.
Yeah, the worst thing that could have happened is he didn't roll. He rolled 1 defense and he only got 1 attack in,
Mm-hmm.
and then he has a target lock and a cannon proc.
Yeah. And here's the IG's dueling, so that's 4 hits.
Yeah.
And
Can't use the heavy laser cannon because he's within the range 1 band.
Yep, but that's alright. He can crit on this. Doesn't look like he rolled crits, but he can. And that's stripped the shields from Mike's IG. So, nasty turn there, but Mike still has the health advantage.
Yeah, right now he has to focus fire and just completely down one of these IG-88s.
Moralo is not in a very nice spot right now, just by virtue of where Chris's IG-B is. If he's not careful, he's going to end up backtracking onto that asteroid that's right in front of him.
Yeah, see, it looks like Mike is just disengaging, which for me is a bit of a mistake. He had the perfect opportunity there to do a Signer loop.
Well, that was a bank, so.
Yeah, so he could have done a three bank Signer loop.
Yeah. But that's one of those things that comes with practice. The IGs, you can look at them and you can get the hang of playing them fairly quickly, but to really figure out their nuances and timings, it does take a lot of play time. But they are such a rewarding ship once you get them down. And well done.
Looks like he avoids the asteroid, but still bumps.
Mike is just squeezing in between IG and the asteroid. That is so very close.
Very nice.
Whew.
Good call.
That was good. Yeah, that was the smart maneuver to do.
Yeah, it limits where Mike could go, and wherever Chris. It limits where Chris can go, and wherever Chris does go, he's still going to get in firing arc, unless he purposely bumps.
Yeah. And he is in fire arc now, and that's a stress. So. Now, I believe that may have, not to take anything away from him, but I believe he shouldn't have been able to do that just from the Tactician on the previous turn.
Yeah, that's a good call. Like, using the upgrades that you pay for is incredibly important.
Yes.
Forgetting to declare these kinds of attacks, that really falls onto the player.
It is on the onus of Mike to call his own upgrades.
Yeah, Chris is playing this list for the first time. He might not remember that there's a Tactician on there. And some players might just purposely forget that there's a Tactician. Not saying that that's the best way to play, but high competitive stakes.
Yeah, it's
you let your opponent make the mistakes for you.
So definitely something I know I'm guilty of is forgetting.
I've always forget bombs on camera. Never forget them off camera.
I forget veteran instincts.
Oh, okay.
All the time. All the time I forget someone has VI.
So what you need to do is put your cards in plastic, and whenever you have VI, just in giant marker letters, just put,
Yeah.
+2.
All right, so here we go. This is Moralo opening up. Yep, this is opening up on B. Makes sense. B is the one with 0 shields.
And B is the heavy hitter.
B is, yeah.
Normally people will want to get rid of B first, just because,
Yeah. It looks like there was a bit of a discussion there, or at least some very strenuous thinking. He's calling you over.
Yep. Just basically a ruling on...
That is a ruling on Autothrusters.
Yeah. They were asking me about auxiliary arcs.
Yes, they are.
Yep.
You do not benefit from that.
They do not benefit from Autothrusters. Yes. Well, no, auxiliary arc, yeah. Auxiliary arcs count as firing arcs.
They
so
do, yes.
Outmaneuver, Autothrusters, that kind of thing, you don't get the benefit.
Yeah, it's a little nasty. Now did Mike miss his gunner here? Because Chris is going on to shooting. Mike may have missed his gunner.
Did he completely miss?
He did completely miss. There's no damage on B.
Yeah, which means that...
No additional damage on B.
Not only did he forget gunner, he also forgot Bossk.
Yeah.
So it looks like Mike is forgetting a bunch of stuff, actually. But this is the first game of the event. It's easy to forget things like that.
It is. Well, especially with all the different crew members doing different things. And if it's not something you've had practice with, then it can be a little rough. But Moralo is taking an absolute kicking here.
They don't call them aggressors for nothing.
No, they are disgustingly brutal. Alright, so hopefully Mike's IGB is going to be pulling himself around here. Okay, it looks like he's just going to...
Turn.
He is going to turn. I'm going to assume boost, because he tried to do that last turn. Yes, there it is. And there's the boost. Wants to get himself brought around.
Still no shots from that IG-88 this turn.
Mm-hmm. I'm curious what Moralo's going to do, because that YV, that doesn't have a K-turn, does it?
No, it does not.
So one of those few ships that, growing number, but one of the few ships that doesn't have a K-turn. So he is not in a healthy spot.
Okay, he just did a 0 maneuver. He put on the brakes. Now, that's another thing that's coming up.
That is smart.
With Bossk, I'm not sure if you have to perform the Bossk ability, because it says after you perform an attack that does not hit, if you are not stressed, you must receive 1 stress token.
Yeah.
So, not only did he not use Bossk, but did he have to use Bossk? You know what I mean?
Yes. You have to.
So
must is bolded.
Yeah, he is performing a red maneuver to do that. So there's a couple of things that Mike has forgotten, and it's kind of worked out for his benefit here. But
some haven't.
Exactly.
It's not working out for that IG's benefit though.
No.
He's in a rough spot there. But we'll see if Chris can capitalize on this.
Yeah, Chris is in a really tough spot here because he's only getting shot at by 1 ship. It's still 3 to 4 attack dice because he doesn't have to use the Mangler Cannon if he doesn't want to.
That would be 4. I would take the 4 here.
Yeah.
No questions asked.
4 attack dice.
Yeah. No questions asked. This would be a 4.
And then if you miss, oh look,
Gunner.
And Bossk can trigger and not give yourself a stress if he remembers it. No Tactician procs this turn though.
No.
You're in range 1. Surprise!
Crap.
It's when the Tactician decides to take a nap.
But I mean, it does. Mike is also kind of he has an interesting choice of which IG to fire at, because he is unlikely to kill one, and whichever one he shoots at, that's going to shoot his other ship. So it's, do you try to severely damage the one that's going to face roll into Moralo, or do you shoot the one that would be, attacking your other ship? And it's made that choice a lot harder now because Chris's IG that's going after Mike's is no longer in range 1.
Yeah. Well, it looks like he's still going after it.
Yeah, there's the Mangler, so. And that looks like that's a miss. So here we go. Now we've got the crewman coming out. Better late than never.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where it looks like Mike just remembers that he has the crewman, and for the most part, this is Chris's first time seeing these crewmen in action. It's like, oh, you have these crewmen. Oh, well.
Oh, crap.
These crewmen should have come up earlier.
Yeah, and then, that's the thing with events is the onus is on the flyer, the owner of the upgrades, to use them.
Yeah, and again, he's forgotten to use Bossk's ability.
Yeah. And there we go. So we got a point of damage through. Not as much as he would have wanted, but damage is damage, which is nice. And he's going after B.
No, this was the first game of the Store Championships, and I really wanted to catch it on camera because I was like, oh look, there's 2 aggressors. I love seeing aggressors fly. And what are they flying against? Oh look, another aggressor.
And a YV.
And a YV-666. Oh, that's awesome. And it's not Bossk. I've never seen Eval on the board, and I wanted to see it in action. It's also why
makes me want to play him.
This is why you see me loitering in the corner. Some of the game is want to make sure that this game's going well. I was also watching the game on my phone because it's linked up to the camera.
Mm-hmm.
So when I wasn't in this room and not being bothered by for judge calls, I was still watching the game here.
3 eyes. That is the most painful defense roll.
Oh, absolutely.
Because that's 4 points of damage, and that is a dead aggressor.
Man, that is not the dice roll that you want to get. Sometimes you want to boost, sometimes you want to just take a focus action.
And, well, we've also seen, a disturbing lack of Glitterstim use this game.
Oh, yeah.
There's been a couple good turns for it, but that happens. Full hull to dead.
Yeah.
And that is going to be painful to overcome.
No.
So we'll see. We'll see how Moralo goes, because depending how he flies, he can still have a decent chance of just gunning after one of the aggressors. And that is not the way I expected him to go.
No. No, I wasn't expecting that either.
So we'll see what Chris is gonna do here.
I think he's gonna do some K turns.
Mm-hmm.
You do a key turn there and a signature loop with the other one. That's what I think.
This is a perfect spot for that hard signature loop.
Yeah.
Well, but I mean, you also can't. It's hard to predict which way Moralo would have gone. If he'd gone the other way, you'd be in a rough spot. Although that is a good choice for a signature loop.
That's
an
excellent move for.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
That is the best possible maneuver there.
I'm not sure if that far aggressor is going to be actually in combat or not. It looks like he might be out.
That's going to be close. So we'll see if Chris's no shield aggressor can take 4 dice to the face.
He's not.
He's still using the Mangler. Okay.
Yeah, he's not opting to use his primary attack.
Still using the Mangler. I guess trying to fish for the gunner, perhaps.
Oh yeah, that's true. Because then he can get
which is exactly what's going on here. So,
but he still forgot to use Bossk's ability.
Looks like he's got it. Might get 1 point through. Oh, this was on B. Oh, wow. That was on B. He got the 3 through and killed B. Well, color me impressed. Well done, Mike. Now you just need Moralo to survive. Well, that is a tall order. That's a couple points of damage going through on him. That is 3, which will leave him. Oh, perhaps only. Yep, 3, which will leave him. Ah, no, he was hiding a crit, so that's it.
Yeah,
is that 3? That's it.
And he got a crit there at the end as well.
Yes,
so
sir.
that is absolutely glorious.
Hey Matt, did you know that Atlantic Canada has a new gaming and tournament center in downtown Fredericton?
Yes, John, I did. Actually, the video we just watched was recorded there. Tell you what, I'd do even better. Check out the website yet. You can go on there, order X-Wing stuff online, get it shipped to you anywhere in New Brunswick and Nova Scotia. You've even got more locations to come soon. It's metagames.com. You should have a look.
So you're telling me that I can go online and order a bunch of T70s for the integrated astromech and it's going to get shipped right to my door?
Yeah, and once you got them, come on down Monday night. It's our free play night. Come in, meet all sorts of interesting people, nice big open play space. It's a really relaxing time. You should check it out.
That sounds awesome. What's the website again?
It's metagames.com, so metagames with a Z on the end of it.
Long live MetaGames!
So, I think that's the first time we've had a Scum versus Scum.
Yeah, I think so too.
And only the second time I've actually seen the YV. It's a very interesting ship. I really like it.
I would like to see Bossk's ability being triggered in the future to see how that synergy works, because man, that had some real potential.
All those crewmen is definitely, that's a lot of stuff to remember.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially first game, and that is our first game for Store Championships at MetaGames 2016. Be sure to tune in next week as we continue covering the 2016 Store Championships. You have been watching Wookiees on X-Wing. Be sure to like and subscribe. We have Wookiee videos out every Wednesday.
We are part of the Northern Gaming Network. You can check us out at northerngamingnetwork.com, where we've got additional content for this game and others. You can find us on Twitter at NorthGameNet, and you can like us on Facebook to keep up with our most recent news. And we'll see you guys next week.
See you next week.